Hello, welcome to the West Ham Way YouTube. Myself, Mark Carlaw, and Riley Finch. Riley, Kostic from Frankfurt. So this deal, it seems to be one that's moving pretty quickly. I believe from what we've heard from X is that the deal has been agreed between both clubs now. I think the fees have been agreed and things like that. I believe now where it's sitting is with the player, as we currently stand. And I think he's got his slight reservations about the move. And I think that really boils down to the fact that he's at a club that's got Champions League football coming up now, and he'd be giving that up to move on. But he is in the last year of his contract, so I do want to sell. Before we go into the sort of where it stands at the moment, what's your thoughts on Kostic? Is it someone that you'd be excited to see at West Ham?
Well, I guess, if you can't beat them, buy them, mate. But yeah, I mean, at first I was a bit puzzled by it because, he's a very particular player. He plays in a very particular system. So I didn't really think he would suit a system like ours. But the more I've kind of, seen the rumours, the more I've kind of looked into the player, I've thought to myself that actually it would work out quite nicely.
Okay.
If you think about it, Creswell is kind of a left wing back in a sense. You see how far he pushes up the field. I haven't seen really much of Kostic defensively, and that is where I think Creswell's biggest flaws lie. So I don't really want to sign another absolutely amazing forward player who is then just going to be absolutely crap defensively, because what's the point in that? When you already have Creswell, who has, one of the best deliveries in the Premier League, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he, but he's just unable to defend. But he could also play at left mid as well, in sort of like we know that our we know that sort of Benrahma and Fornals have to track back a lot. If he's a left wing back already, I can see him playing at left mid anyway. For the fee as well, I think it's a really, really good deal for us, and I'm really keen for the player to join us. The only thing I do worry about is the potential for us to move into a back five, which I really don't want us to do. Obviously, it's always good to have a plan B, but if Kostic isn't going to be like a part of the first team as a fullback, I don't really want him to be our left back if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not sure if he is or not. I'm not sure if he's on a fullback view or if he's going to be like a left mid with Lingard replacement and then can also play left wing back.
That's my understanding of it. I think that's what the club are thinking. I might be wrong there, but that's from what I understand what X has said. And I think because I think we are in for other left backs as well. So my understanding is that's going to be the case. He's going to be playing more of a left-sided winger but he could always drop in as a left back if need be. I think what's interesting as well is some of the stats I was going to have a little look on my Twitter. I did put it the other day, was regarding his deliveries and his assists for the last, I think it's since 2018. I think he's second in Europe across deliveries. I think it's Alexander-Arnold. I think it's the only one that was number one, I believe. It might have been as well. He might have been third, actually, saying that. I'm not quite sure. I have to double check. But I think he had 44 assists in terms of the last few years. So he's incredibly good at delivering from the left side. And that really excites me, especially when you think of, we've got Skamaka now coming into the club by the looks of it. It does seem to set up quite a nice feeling that you think you've got someone that's quite pacey, decent, and could hit a very good delivery in. I don't know. I think that's my feeling is that's what's going to be happening. I don't think he's going to be utilised as a left back. That's my understanding. But as you say, I don't want us to go back to a back five, really. I like the idea of having his backup plan B, because I do think we've lacked that in the last couple of years. Don't get me wrong, we've done very well. But it does feel like we always play the exact same system pretty much every match, pretty much with the exact same players. We don't ever really seem to change much around, which, don't get me wrong, I get that, because you get the feel for it. But sometimes teams start sussing you out and make it very difficult. It'd be nice to know sometimes that we can shift it around a little bit and change the play. So, I'm excited by it. Yeah, I am.
No, I agree with you completely, mate. I think the biggest problem with our back five is our left wing back spot, because I just don't think Masuaku is strong enough in that spot.
No.
And obviously, like Creswell's the left centre back, probably isn't the best sort of the best arrangement either. No. And against teams like Tottenham, I think you kind of have to match them and play like a back five against them. Otherwise, I think you just get so overloaded on the channel. So it would be really good to have that option, like you say. But if we're buying him as our left back, like if we buy him and we say, well, we're not buying a left back anymore, then I'd rather have someone else as a out and out left back. But it really makes sense to me if we have him on the left, and when we want to go to a back five, we have him as our left wing back. I think that would be a really, really good sort of situation for us. The only thing I do worry about is if we are going to convince Kostic to come here, surely he's going to be a first team player, because if he's going to give up Champions League football and all this other stuff, and he's playing week in, week out for Frankfurt, surely he's going to be one of the first names on the team sheet. which means, where does that leave Fornals and Benrahma?
Absolutely.
So and saying that again, if we want to play Vlasic in a 10 position, does that mean we get rid of Vlasic and then put Benny in the 10 or Fornals in the 10? I don't really think either of them play off the right. So yeah, it'd be really interesting. I mean, obviously we don't know any of this until the season actually plays out. I mean, like you say, Moyes is not sentimental. He will put in whoever puts in the best performances and the best training. And we are playing in full competition, so we do need depth. But I can only imagine Kostic would come in if he was going to be our out-and-out left mid for all but every game in the Premier League. So that does concern me a little bit, because I think if we've got Fornals and Benrahma, do we really need that?
I mean, we go back right at the beginning of the summer when we started recording regarding the transfer window and what was going on and all that kind of stuff. There was a lot of speculation regarding Benrahma, whether he'd be kept on the club. I'm still not convinced with him, and I'm still not really convinced Moyes is overly happy with him. No. I actually got a sneaky feeling he might go this summer. I got a feeling if an offer came in, I think he'd let him go. I just don't think he's ever really Moyes has never taken to Benrahma. I don't know what it is. I mean, I feel for him because I actually think he's a very good player. But maybe that's Moyes' thinking now. He's thinking he just doesn't really buy into Benrahma, and this is hence why he's getting Kostic to come in and to take that role permanently, and having Fornals utilised as he has been, a kind of he can not play as a number 10. Sometimes he can come in on the left if he needs to be. He can kind of, I think he's happy to do that, and sort of fit in where he can and help out. But yeah, I've just got this sneaky feeling that Kostic is going to come in, and I think this could be pushing Benrahma out. That's just my feeling. I'm not. That's not. X hasn't told me anything on that. I don't know. That's nothing I'm trying to share. Yeah. It's just my view, but that's my sneaky feeling. Especially if we're saying, which I believe is the case, that he's not going to be going in as a left back. Then you can't, like you just said, where's that leaving Benrahma then? Because Kostic's not going to come in and sit on the bench. No way. And he's not going to give up Champions League football to be a bit part player. He's going to want to come and be the main man. So surely the club are going to give him some guarantees if they're trying to convince him to come over. So you do kind of question, where's Benrahma left, and where does he fit into all this? I don't really see where he fits in anymore. I'm struggling to see. I think, and the fact he probably would command a pretty decent fee, I still think he's probably worth about 25, maybe 30 million pound ish. So the club may be thinking, well, look, this is a good opportunity. We can get a decent bit of money in for him, and we can push on again and put it towards maybe a decent left back.
Yeah, that's exactly my feelings, mate. I do feel like unless we're going to stick Benrahma in the 10 as a replacement for if you have the two players playing in the 10, it's going to either be Vlasic and Lanzini at the moment. Kind of seems like what it might be.
Yeah,
or Benrahma and Lanzini. For me, I'd honestly rather give Vlasic a try in that spot, considering he's younger. He has had less time to sort of put himself in the side. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Benrahma, though. I still think he's got a lot to show, but if you look at what we try and do on the left-hand side, Fornals and Kostic are very similar players. Benrahma is not really that kind of player. He doesn't track back that much. He's more of a flair player. He's not got a great delivery on him, if I'm honest. He can, but he's not consistent with his deliveries. No. So for me, like you say, where does that leave Benrahma? And if we're going to get 20, 25 million for him, I think that's honestly a decent deal for all parties. 13 million for Kostic coming in. Benrahma for 25, and then use that money for a left back. I mean, the only thing is we don't have any cover for Bowen. So if Vlasic feels like he can play the right mid spot, I think keep Benrahma and play him in the 10 spot. But yeah, he doesn't really seem like he's an out and out winger, isn't he, Benrahma? He shouldn't be playing as like a left on sort of like a deep line left side, waiting for a fullback to overlap. He should just be attacking all the fullbacks himself. And I don't really think we play like that very often. So, yeah, I feel like he'd be better off maybe somewhere else. But I still wanted to stay at West Ham. But it really does leave question marks as to what the kind of state of the squad's going to be coming into this season.
It does, and I do feel for Benrahma really, because when you look at his numbers, they're decent. You know what I mean? He's got some good assists. He's got a few goals. He does add to the team. There's no two ways about it. I think for me, and I think for most fans, and he just frustrates you sometimes. Like as you say, he's so inconsistent sometimes with his performances. Sometimes you watch him and think he looks incredible, does some really amazing things. And then sometimes you watch him, he's just so frustrating to watch. I just don't know. I'm just not convinced that he's going to be here at the end of the summer. I've just got this feeling that he might be going on out the door. I don't know why. I've just got that feeling. There was a lot of speculation at the beginning of the window that the club are going to, I think even X might have suggested that Moyes would be considering to move him on. So I doubt that's changed. I can't imagine he's done much to change his mind. But yeah, it's interesting. Another one before we wrap this up, mate, is and you just touched on it, was the fact that we've got Vlasic as well, who's he looks good in pre-season. He's looking really good, looking really sharp, and he's starting to sort of show that the qualities that maybe that we wanted to see last season. And I actually really felt for him last season. He didn't really get much of a chance. I mean, you can always get criticised. At the end of the day, if you only get in a few minutes here and there, what chance have you got really to make a big impact? Do you see much of a future for Vlasic at West Ham?
I'm a big fan. I'm a really big fan. I mean, I feel like he can play on the right. You know, he's got such a thunderous shot on him. The thing is, Bowen is such a hard player to replicate. You know, the way the way the ball glues to his feet and the way he sort of runs back, like he's just an all-round player. So I feel like if he's going to break into the first team, it will be in the number 10 spot. But again, Lanzini's been so consistent in that spot.
Yeah,
you know, it'll be hard for him to get in there as well. But I'm a massive fan of Vlasic. I think he brings something new to the game in the sense that when you've got Lanzini dropping back deep, and then you've got sort of Vlasic with his really good tight dribbling, he's got a really good shot on him as well. And I feel like our number 10 doesn't really take a lot of shots. You know, we spoke about Lingard and we said how the way he literally would in the number 10 spot or the wing spot, we'll just have a lash at a shot. You know, we will just shoot and he scores worldies because of it. I feel like Vlasic has such a good shot on him that maybe that is something we can implement into his game. But for me, I'd love to see a lot of him this season. I really don't want him to get moved on. And, you know, you might do a Benrahma. You know, last season, Benrahma put out his best numbers. Second season for West Ham, sort of broke to the first team. I think Vlasic should be allowed that opportunity. In no way, in my head, if we loan him, we loan him. But if we sell him, that'd just be horrendous. I think there's no way we sell him. I want to be a big part of West Ham this season.
And I think he's got he's got a bit of a bond at West Ham now. I don't know, there's something about Vlasic. I think the fans really like him. He just seems to really love the club and he does give everything. And I don't know, like you say, don't get me wrong, he's probably in his last chance salute in terms of a season. If he has another season where he's barely playing and when he does come on, he's not doing a lot, then you imagine he will be gone next summer. But I'd love to see him do well this season. And he's a player that I genuinely think should be given that chance.
Yeah.
Like you say, I'd be gutted if we sold him. And I don't think we will. I don't believe that that's the case, that we would move him on, but we'll wait and see. But Kostic, mate, it's one that I think is quite exciting. Obviously, we've got to now try and hope that the player decides that West Ham is the right club for him and he wants to make the move. Hopefully, that'll be decided pretty soon, as it were. So, we'll keep you up to date with that.
Absolutely, mate. I mean, I've got a gut feeling that he probably will reject us, but if we do manage to get him over the line, I think that's a really big buy for the club.
I agree, mate. Totally. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers.